OK, let's talk to Dr. Ben Todd, who's the Executive Director of the Arcola Theatre here in North London. Hello, Ben.
Good morning.
Right, a tough morning, I'm sure, but we've been hearing, particularly in the creative industries, which is what we concentrate on this show, Cultural Life here in London. What's the current situation with the Arcola?
So for us, we took the really tough decision over the weekend that we should cancel the remaining performances of our current show and postpone potentially postpone most of the rest of our 20th anniversary season this year until we have a sense of how COVID-19 is going to play out.
Obviously, that's going to be a very tough call to make financially, I'm sure. How scared are you on those terms?
Financially, obviously, it's really tough. So the majority of our income comes from the box office. So it's a high risk for the organisation. And almost more importantly, really, is what's the effect that has on the artists, on the freelancers, on the staff involved across the arts. It's not a decision you make lightly. Looking at the values and the missions of Arcola to kind of support people, to contribute to healthy lives of everybody, it just seemed it wasn't the right thing for us to keep trying to encourage people to congregate. So we're looking now at how do we work through this initial phase, as you know, we've launched an appeal for donations just to help us really think through and have that time to keep paying people while we kind of realign the organisation for what is it that we should be doing and contributing now. If we've got an extended period of COVID-19 kind of shaking society, we've got this amazing creative skill and ability within Arcola and within the wider cultural sector. How do we repurpose that to really kind of support the challenges in society?
Is there anything you can ask the people who come regularly to do? Obviously you're funded by selling tickets, which is not going to happen while the theatre is dark.
Yes, obviously we've asked for donations now. There are tickets, obviously, that have been sold for forthcoming shows. Obviously, we're asking people, if at all possible, not to ask for a refund on those shows. So either convert it to a donation or allow us to hold on to the money for when the shows are resurrected. Now that we've made this kind of tough decision, we're working through the practicalities. The next bit is going to be for the team to think about what can we usefully do. We want to keep paying people's wages, keep people moving as the rest of society. What's the thing that we can do to contribute and therefore hopefully earn some of that money that we need to keep moving?
Obviously, the thing that no one knows, the great unknown, is how long this is likely to last. How long do you think you can sustain without the regular income?
Yeah, that's the thing we've been looking at. So we've spent the last couple of months kind of charting the progress of COVID-19. Obviously, this is not my expert area, but I've got enough science training to understand that there's quite a few scenarios we need to be looking at. And the scenario that it's over in a couple of weeks is highly unlikely at this point. Yeah. And the scenario that extends out for even 12 months or longer is not unlikely. So we need to be planning for that. That's where it gets really difficult, because to scale back an organisation to the point that you can survive 12 months not having your primary source of income, and that's a hell of a scale back.
Is there any consolation in the thought that you're not alone? That this is happening not just across London, but of course globally? So many organisations are going to be in the same situation.
Yeah. Whether consolation is the right word, I guess it's tough. We're thinking right now about theatre. Similar things are happening across up and down the high street, small businesses, large businesses. So this is, as we've seen already, this is going to devastate all kinds of people. So within this particular context, my responsibility is for the artists and staff at Arcola. Fundamentally, it's just miserable.
It's tough. It's hard to kind of be positive about any of this, except the only thing I can say is that I think this is a very resilient city and we're very resilient people. And A, we will find ways, and B, people will respond very positively the moment they can.
Yeah, that's what we've seen. So, for weeks now we've been agonising about if and when to make this decision. And actually having made it, I woke up this morning feeling a lot more positive, because we transitioned from wondering what and if to actually what we spend most of our time thinking about, which is how. How do we respond? What is the kind of creative, constructive approach? And so, from the appeal, we literally only launched last night. Hundreds and hundreds of messages of support have come in, and you can see in social media now increasingly people thinking, well, what can we do? What is the role? If we think of the arts, particularly theatre, conventionally about bringing groups of people together in essentially, in Arcola's case, an intimate small space, how do we repurpose that capability, that skill, the ability to persuade, the ability to understand the kind of inner reaches of the psyche? How do we redeploy that in a way that doesn't involve putting lots of people in a room together, breathing on each other? And I'm starting to see those sparks coming through. So in some strange sense, there is a kind of excitement behind this. But yeah, very much covered by a
well, Ben, keep us in touch. This show is here, and this show is here to be a mouthpiece as much, for our listeners, but also for London's creative community. So keep us in touch with any developments, please. Will do. Thanks so much. Thank you. That was Dr. Ben Todd, their Executive Director of the Arcola Theatre, obviously, which is one of London's really, really well-established and hugely well-supported and respected cultural institutions. And as you heard from him, it's tough.